English book reading. The book's name Saladin. Nina Prentice. Nina Prentice is a teacher who has worked in the Middle East and other countries because her mother is Italian. English is her second language. She remembers well how hard it was to spell in English when she first went to school, but it got much easier when she fell in love with reading. She likes going abroad to learn new languages and new ways of cooking. She now lives near Oxford, where she writes, goes walking, and works in her garden. Chapter 1. A small weak boy. Decree 1138. Help, help, he's going to kill me. Hearing the screams, Shirko ran through the dark streets of the town. Suddenly he came around the corner of a building. A soldier was holding a knife to a woman's neck. Her eyes were wild and afraid. Shirko didn't stop to think. In a minute, the two men were fighting for the knife. In another minute, the soldier was dead, his blood bright red on the ground. Late that night, Ayub heard a soft knock at the door. It was his brother Sharko asking for news. The baby hasn't come yet. The mother's having a bad time. The father looked at his brother. Why are you hurrying? Ayub, I've just killed a man by mistake, but I was angry. Sharko, why did you do this? It will be difficult for us here in Tikrit. The man's family will make trouble. I couldn't stop myself. While I was coming home, a woman called out for help. A soldier was going to kill her. I didn't want to hurt him. It was an accident, but now Governor Jengi says that all our family must leave at once or will be in danger. Oh, Sharko, you are a fighter. You are stronger than most men. But when you are angry, you stop thinking. It's always been this way, but I can't leave until the child arrives. Just then they heard a cry. I hurried away to the woman's side of the house. What news? He asked his sister. Good news, thank God. The child is born, but look at him. He's very small and weak. I don't think that he will live through the night. The mother too is very ill, she said. There's nothing to be done. We must go now. I've heard his new son. I'll call you Yusuf because you must find a new life here from where you were born, like the prophet Yusuf did in Egypt long, long ago. Baalbek 1145. Please, please tell us the story again. Please, the three brothers were with their father. I in the garden of his fine house in the old town. Turan the oldest boy, was next to his father. Yusuf, now 7 years old, held Al Adil, the baby, in his arms and sat as near as the court to listen. I smiled and began. 6 years before our Yusuf here was born, I was near the river Tigris catching some birds for your mother to cook for dinner. Suddenly, I saw a man on the other side of the water was having trouble running. He had blood all over his face and clothes, but he still carried his sword. Behind him, I could see many soldiers riding fast horse. I thought quickly. Near me was a small fishing boat. I jumped in and pushed it across the river with a long stick. Just then, the soldiers started to get near the water. I called the man and helped him into the boat. I pushed the boat quickly into the river while the soldiers started shooting at us. Arrows hit the boat, but with God's help, we weren't hurt. At least we got to the other side. Dirty, wet, and tired, we ran back home. Your mother and sisters cooked us a wonderful meal that we enjoyed silently. The next morning, I learned the name of my guest. It was the great Jengi himself. His army lost the battle of day before, and all his soldiers were dead or prisoners. He wanted to hurry back to Mosul to make sure that the town was safe, so I gave him new clothes and my best horse. Riding away, he said, I will never forget your help and will always be a true friend to you and your family. What is the horse like, father? Asked Yusuf. All you think about is horses, Yusuf, said Turasha. You as a brother of the wind, it's good to give with open hands. Jengi has been our friend since then. I'm governor of Baalbek and we are safe and comfortable here because of him. Damascus, Syria, 1152. Yusuf, you must come now. It's time to go to school. Oh, Al Adil, I don't want to go. Look at my horse on it. I don't know why Turasha said that he is bad. He's going to be very good at polo. Polo means a game like football where people ride horses and hit a ball with a stick. He always knows what to do. The boy of 14 rode quickly up to the ball with the stick in his hand. He hit it hard and sent it flying over to his brother. Al Adil stopped the ball with his foot. Father says that you are the best rider of all of us, Yusuf. That's why when Turasha couldn't do anything with Anid, father gave the horse to you. But you must go to school or you will be in terrible trouble. Don't forget what father said the last time that you were late. Yusuf jumped down from his horse's back and took him back to the house. Then he ran as fast as he could for school. The old teacher looked up angrily when Yusuf hurried into the room. He was very late. You will have to stay his afternoon to do all the work that you have missed, boy. Yusuf sat next to Turasha. Where are we? He asked. Turasha, Turasha showed Yusuf the words in the Holy Quran that the boys were reading. It's the story of the Prophet Yusuf and how his brother left him in the desert because they didn't like him. He smiled, not very kindly. Stop talking and learn. The teacher's stick hit both boys. It hurt. Turasha cried out, but Yusuf said nothing. What am I going to do with you? Yusuf said his father later that day. Your teacher tells me that you are clever and quick to learn, but that you were never at school. I know that you are always with the horses, but you are not a child anymore. You must learn to be a man and a soldier. I'm going to send to my brother Sharko. You know that now he is an important general working for Genghis Khan Nuruddin up in Aleppo. Can I take Anid with me? No, since we come to Damascus, we've only played. Now you must work. Get ready, we leave in an hour. Chapter 2, A Chance to Prove Himself. Aleppo, Syria, 1152. Yusuf felt sad saying goodbye to his mother and sisters before he left Damascus with his father. At first, he was excited to be starting a new life, but after 4 days of hard travel on hot, dry roads, he was worried. He asked himself over and over again, will I be a good soldier? Yusuf, look, that's where you will live, his father said while they rode through some small village just outside Aleppo. On a high hill in the middle of the town, the boys saw the tall walls of the castle climb up towards the sky. They made Yusuf feel very small and unimportant. The building looked like it was growing even taller while he rode through the town towards it. Yusuf wanted to go back home, but he knew that he couldn't say anything to his father. Ayub rode up into the castle and Yusuf followed silently. They found the general talking to his men in a large room full of swords. Sharku was an ugly man with only one eye. No one could say that he looked like a general, but he was brave and he knew everything about the best ways to fight and win. After the soldiers left, General turned to the boy. Well, Yusuf, you are sure that you want to be a soldier? I'll do my best, uncle. If you want to be one of my soldiers, you will do that I tell you. Do you understand? Yes, uncle. Sharku now turned to his brother. Ayub, I'll take the boy, but only because you and I are brothers. I don't think that he will be a good fighter or a soldier, but we'll see. If he is any trouble, he goes home at once. Yusuf wanted to do well, but it was difficult. He tried hard to learn, but he was still small and weak. He found the fighting hard. His sword was heavy. The other soldiers were fast and strong. His uncle was often hungry. Hey, Yusuf, you will never be a soldier if you fight like that. I can't use you as you are. Go and try to understand how to law words from Governor Nuruddin. I don't want to see you here again until you can do something better than this. Work hard or you will go back home. Yusuf did what his uncle said. He thought, I'll never be a soldier. What will my father say if I have to go home? Learning the law is boring, but Uncle Shahrukh thinks I can't do anything else. Oh, I want to be strong like other boys. Now he stood for long hours in the governor's rooms in the castle, watching people asking Nuruddin for help. At first, everything was hard to understand, but soon Yusuf saw that Nuruddin was a great man. The governor always listened to everybody, poor people and women and children too, not just rich and strong men. The governor studied the law and talked about difficult problems with wise men. He thought about their words and took time to find the right answers. After 3 months, the governor saw that Yusuf learned quickly. People liked the boy because he was friendly to everyone. His thin face usually looked sad when he was alone, but when he spoke to people, he had a kind and happy smile. He also always tried to help anyone with troubles. Nuruddin began to talk to the boy about the problems of the castle, the town, and the army. The governor also talked to Yusuf about his great hope. One day soon, I want to make all the Muslim people stop fighting each other. We must work together to take Jerusalem back from the Franks. Palestine isn't their land, after all. Nothing is more important than this, and we must all fight to make it happen. Now Yusuf wanted to fight the Franks too. It was wrong that they held the holy places. He also understood that Franks sometimes made friends with some Muslims, and together they fought against other Muslims and took their houses, land, and animals. Nothing was safe. It was also very hard to Muslim to go on pilgrimage to the holy city of Mecca. The road was too dangerous because of all the Frankish castles near it. I must get into Nuruddin's army, but how can I do it when Uncle Sharko thinks that I'm too weak? I'll have to learn clever ways to win against stronger men. I know that the Franks are good fighters. Their horses are bigger, their soldiers wear a lot of armor, and they have many castles. But I think that we will win if we work together and make good plans. From that day, he borrowed a horse and learned to use his sword day and night when he wasn't working for Nuruddin. He wanted to show his uncle that he wasn't just a good student of law but also a real soldier. One day, Nuruddin asked Yusuf to play polo with him. The boy ran to find a horse. He was so excited and he forgot about everything his uncle, the law, and even fighting the Franks. They played inside the castle walls. Everyone watched Yusuf and his horse following the ball closely without a mistake. Polo was like a battle, fast and dangerous. Many horses fell, men were hurt, and one died when a horse ran over him. But Yusuf rode wonderfully, stayed out of trouble, and by hitting clever shots, he helped Nuruddin and his players to win. How can you play polo so well? The governor asked the boy. I learned it in Damascus, sir. I have a wonderful horse there. My father says that he will send him to me when General Sharko says that I can fight with the army. Tell your father to send the horse now. You are small and not very strong, but you are a clever fighter. You think before you do things and you want to win. There's nothing more important in a soldier. The general will be happy to have another good man in his army. Go to him now and tell him what I said. The general looked up when he heard the news. He wasn't smiling. Very well, you can come back, but don't think that you will be fighting. Follow and war are different. You will work in my office and learn how to move fighting men and horses quickly and to find food, weapons, and a safe place for them to sleep. Remember that brave soldiers and fast horse are only half the story. We only win wars when strong men are ready to fight in the night, right place at the right time. Yusuf was in the army now, but life wasn't easier. Every day he made sure that the soldiers and their horses had good food to eat. He counted weapons and made sure that they were strong and clean. He paid soldiers and kept the army's money safe. He found answers to all kinds of problems from morning until night. But sometimes he felt sad because he never knew if his uncle was happy with his hard work. There was no fighting for Yusuf, but sometimes Nuruddin asked him to play polo, and on its back he forgot his troubles. Aleppo, 11 and 63. Yusuf was 25 and still working for his uncle. When news came of travel in Egypt, busier, Shawar wanted to Nuruddin's help to keep the country out of the hands of his enemies. He promised to give a lot of money to the Syrians to make them come, but it was only when um, Amalric, the Frankish king of Jerusalem, decided to move into Egypt that Nuruddin began to think about sending his army. The Franks must not get into Cairo and use the money that they find there to make their armies in the Holy Land stronger, he said. He should work hard for months to get the soldiers ready for the long journey to Egypt. There was a lot to do, and General Shaikh was always busy. He spoke to Yusuf only to give him more work and more difficult problems to put right. The young man worried that he couldn't go on the campaign, but he worked as hard as possible to make ready all that the army needed. The days went by and still Yusuf heard nothing about going. He knew that the army was leaving in less than a week. My uncle will leave me behind, and I will spend the rest of my life counting swords and paying soldiers, he thought sadly.